point of a SBA. Okay, so let's look at the written report. First of all, this written report is about 250 to 300 words, which is very important. Okay, so in the written report, you must give a summary of the process and the procedure and the outcome of the research you have done, right? So what have you learned on the different topics? So for example, remember now, so 4 to 5 persons. So if, for example, um, I choose farming or um, farming, drought in Yalas, another person might want to look at drought in another area or look at um, other subtopics. Let's do the first one. Let's say you look at, let's go back to natural disaster. I might look at natural disaster in 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 how flooding affects my community. Another person might look at preparedness of members for natural disaster, for hurricane in that community. Um, Another person might look at earthquake, how earthquake, um, how prepared persons are for earthquake. Um, so all of those subtopics on the natural disaster, what would you have learned in general from doing the research? That's outcome right there. I know, guys, the example might sound a bit off because I'm thinking on the fly, but that's a idea. That's the idea that's coming to my head now. So, what have we learned about natural disaster in general, about the specific topic we are researching? And then you look at the materials you chose and why you chose those materials and the analysis of those materials. How was it? How were you able to garner the information through the analysis of materials, all right? Place the group
Okay.
report at the top. All right, so let's jump up at top to get read the report. And it looks like his colleagues are students because um, they it is being marked. So it shifts the pages at a certain angle because uh, scores were added to the SBA. All right, let's go. The completion of this written report would not have been successful without the unity of the members. The 4 members explored the themes, social issues, and topics that were explored included the following: the long-term effects of sexual abuse, poverty, teenage pregnancy, and the effect of teenage pregnancy on teenagers. So what they're saying that they from the topic, these were the subtopics that were examined from the main topic. Thus, in this SBA completion, thus in this SBA completion, various processes such as brainstorming, group discussion, and research to answer our questions were used. Through discussion and analysis, our group was able to select 3 research questions based on the 2 artifacts. And 2 artifacts they mean that they're using in this report, not overall for the group. All right. We start the process by following each members of the group to present a research question based on each of their artifacts. Afterwards, in which each group members then analyze each question and artifact through the process of voting and eliminating pieces, then giving a feedback on the best fitting questions be present in the report. Our group decided that the report will be done based on language use and tone in each pieces. The 3 artifacts that were chosen for the report were article and 2 videos. Were an article and 2 videos. The 3 research questions that were chosen were: does being a teenage parent affect their mental health? How can sexual abuse harm a child? What is it like to grow up in poverty? All right. So all right, so let's go further. All right. So those are the questions they use to guide in researching their topics. In the first, so of course, as you see before, they talk about how let's talk about how they went about the process and the procedure, how they went in groups, how they brainstorm, and how they develop questions to guide their research. All right, and then let's go into let's read further at least, huh? Pregnant. Okay, so in the first piece, so they're kind of giving analysis of how they analyze maybe what they have learned. Let's read. The first piece by Healthline 2016, titled What Are the Effects of Teenage Pregnancy, stated that mental health of teenage mothers are affected greatly because teen mothers face significant levels of stress that can then lead to increased mental health concerns. In addition to higher rates of post postpartum depression, teenage mothers have higher rates of depression. It also states that they also have a higher rate of suicidal ideation than their peers who are mothers. Teen mothers are more likely to experience post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, than other teenage women, as well as this could be because teen moms are more likely to have gone through mental and or physical abuse. According to YouTube video, the effects of sexual abuse on children by Stop It Now Woke Ireland 2020 highlighted the fact that sexual abuse can harm a child by stating that sexual abuse can cause deep and lasting harm to children, not just to their emotional, physical, and sexual development, but also to their trust in adults, especially if their abusers is someone they love, someone who should have protected them. And a poem entitled "I Grow Poor and I am not ashamed ashamed" by Janet L. Harvey, 2004, highlighted the fact that poverty motivates a child in the lines "I grew up poor, bare feet, hole in my school uniform, poor, callaloo and yellow yam for dinner, poor, tin mackerel and white rice, poor, sore feet, sore foot, hopping to school, poor," or by stating that "I grew poor, water on my head pour, run faster than the speed of light, on fried dumpling and sugared water pour." These are just a few points stated in the poem written by Janet L. Harvey, 2004, which is an excellent poem. To sum up everything that is stated so far, social issues is a are problem. Let's read about is a problems are problems that have many consequences and is widely recognized um, as an issue that need to be solved. Okay, affecting many members within a certain society and age group, forming problems such as poverty, teenage pregnancy, or even sexual abuse. Okay, folks, that we have come to the end of our long